My girlfriend sleeps in jeans. Submitted by Gabie Rivera. The first time we spent the night together, Blanca rolled away from me as we were cuddling together and grabbed her underwear from in between the bed sheets, sliding them on under the sheets. Then, she got up and picked up her jeans from the floor. I watched as she began putting them on, stepping into the jeans one leg at a time and then shimming them on the rest of the way, jumping up and down a few times to make sure they were on all the way, before buttoning them up. "Are you leaving?" I asked her, confused. I propped myself up on my arm, reaching for my t-shirt that had gotten flung on top of the lamp on my bedside table, and put it on, looking for my own underwear. I spotted them on the floor near my side of the bed and put those on, getting up as Blanca looked around the room. "No, you said I could sleep over, right?" She stopped searching the room and stood facing me with her hands on her hips. "Yeah, I did," I replied. "So what are you doing?" She looked around the floor, spotting what she was looking for, and bent down to pick up her bralette, pushing her curls out of the way. She folded it in half and placed it on the bedside table. "I was just picking up my stuff," she replied. "Okay," I said, confused. She gave me a funny look and I motioned to her legs. "Why did you put your jeans back on?" I asked. "Oh," she chuckled. "I don't like sleeping without bottoms on, it makes me feel exposed." "Well, I can lend you some shorts or something, I have a few extra pairs," I offered. She shook her head. "No, that's alright. I like sleeping in jeans." "You what?" I asked. I sat down on the bed and she did the same, sliding her legs under the covers. "I know, it's weird, and you probably think it sounds uncomfortable, but I like it." I watched as she laid back on the pillow, her curls splaying around her face. "You're a psychopath," I said. She laughed. "Shut up, Jenny." I smiled at her and then kissed her forehead as I got under the covers as well, reaching to turn off the lamp. "If you change your mind about the jeans, there's a pair of shorts in the bottom drawer," I said as I closed my eyes. "Thank you," Blanca replied with a yawn. Blanca didn't change her mind, and the next morning I woke up to find that she had thrown one of her legs over me in her sleep. She was still wearing the jeans. They weren't even comfortable jeans, they were new, tight-fitting skinny jeans. I had no idea how she could sleep in that, and I thought about the waistband that was probably digging into her skin right now. I slowly pushed her leg off of me, slid out of bed, and got ready for the day. Blanca woke up about half an hour later, just as I was finishing up the pancakes, and I saw her come down the stairs dressed in shorts and a t-shirt. I found this to be very odd, and although I tried to bite my tongue through all of breakfast, eventually I caved. "Why do you sleep in jeans?" I blurted out. "I like to," she replied, cutting up a pancake into little squares. I watched as she drenched it in maple syrup. "So you sleep in jeans and then wake up and change into shorts?" She nodded as she chewed. "Is this a problem for you?" she asked after she swallowed. I shook my head no. I had a hard time believing that it truly was just comfortable to sleep in jeans, but I tried not to ask her about her habits anymore. 2 months later, she was still sleeping in jeans. Every night, without fail, she would change into a pair of skinny jeans and go to bed. Sometimes I woke up at night and I felt the seam of her jeans rubbing against my bare legs, and I rolled to the edge of the bed to get away from her. I didn't want to be away from her, it's just, who the fuck sleeps in jeans? Although it was a bit weird to me, she wasn't really hurting anybody by sleeping in jeans, and so after a while, I didn't bring it up anymore. She was an adult who could do what she wanted, and if she wanted to sleep in jeans then so be it. One evening, we had just gotten home from the gym and we were sweaty and tired. Blanca groaned as we walked into the living room, dragging her feet on the carpet and throwing herself over the couch, sighing as she landed face down. I put my purse and keys down on the kitchen table and grabbed my water bottle, taking a long sip to cool myself down. "I'm gonna go shower unless you want to go first," I said, walking over and removing her shoes. "No, I can wait. I'm gonna go lay down while you do that." She pushed herself up off the couch, adjusting her workout shorts, and followed me into the bedroom, dropping onto the middle of the bed as I got ready for my shower. As I rinsed my hair, I noticed that the house sounded unusually silent. Normally, Blanca would be making her post-workout smoothie or watching something on the TV before getting ready for bed. I pulled back the shower curtain and poked my head out. I had left the bathroom door open, and it gave me a view into the bedroom, where Blanca was still laying face down on the bed. "Blanca?" I called. She didn't reply. I finished my shower, and when I was done I went into the bedroom to find that Blanca had fallen asleep while waiting for me. I decided to give her a few more minutes of rest, and I went back into the kitchen to make her a smoothie before I woke her up. I also made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and once I was done I took my sandwich and Blanca's smoothie back to the bedroom. When I entered the bedroom, I gasped. Blanca had fallen asleep in her shorts, and her exposed legs were split into 4 slivers that were all attached at the hip. It was like someone had taken a bread slicer to her legs. I took a few steps towards her, and I could see that all the pieces of her legs were vibrating. I continued to stare as they wiggled around, as if each separate section had a mind of its own, until they grew longer and thicker, eventually forming 8 long flesh tentacles. I set down the smoothie and my sandwich and tried to shake her awake, as I wondered where her bones had gone. "Blanca!" I snapped, shaking her shoulders. She opened her eyes lazily, fighting to stay awake. "You let me fall asleep without my jeans," she mumbled before closing her eyes again. The newly formed tentacles were like that of an octopus, only smooth, and the color of Blanca's skin. One began to slither towards me, and I backed up, but it launched at me like a snake and wrapped itself around my neck, holding me in place. I was forced to stand there and watch as the tentacles continued to grow until they draped off the bed and onto the floor. Then, her upper body began to change as well. I watched as her face and shoulders merged into each other, her neck disappearing until finally, she had taken the shape of a large octopus-like creature covered in human skin. She was mostly unrecognizable, except for her eyes. They were still the same chocolate-colored eyes that she always had, and they stared at me. She had no mouth anymore, so she couldn't speak. Instead, she sat on the bed, still holding me in place with one of her tentacles. "Blanca, let me go," I said, noticing that I was crying. Slowly, she loosened her grip around my neck and I stepped back. She didn't move, only stared at me silently. Then, I ran. I ran out of the room and down the hall, heading towards the front door. As soon as I got it open, however, one of the tentacles pushed it closed and another wrapped itself around my legs, dragging me back into the bedroom. I was hyperventilating as I tried to get myself out of her grasp. But it was no use, she was much too strong, and she dragged me all the way back into bed, strapping me in with her tentacles to hold me in place. I fell asleep like that eventually, and when I woke up the next morning, I hoped it had all just been one really fucked up dream. But it wasn't. Blanca never changed back, and she still won't let me go. I tried to tell her I was going out for groceries once, but I don't think she understands. Or, she knew I was lying and I wasn't going to come back if I managed to leave. Whichever it is, I know she's never going to let me leave. She spends her days sitting in the corner of whatever room I am in, watching me, ready to stop me from running away. I don't know what to do anymore. She's frightening and grotesque, a sea creature made of flesh. I don't know what she wants from me. Maybe she blames me for this, but I'll never know. But at least she doesn't sleep in jeans anymore.